Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Alex and Quinn's Cyber Tour.
Ooh.
Now you're probably wondering, what's a cyber tour? I was wondering the same thing. Basically, our cyber tour is going to be taking you and your friends on a 90s, 2000s style exploration and tour, if you will, of all things internet culture. Isn't that exciting, Quinn?
That is very exciting for anyone who loves the internet. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad anyone's here watching this.
Exactly. And obviously with this first episode, we'll be starting at the beginning. What's a better place to start than there, I hear. Most stories start there. And so when was the internet begun? When did it start? And where are we coming from? Where did we go? Where did you come from? Cotton Eye Quinn. So why don't we start with Mr. Richard Dawkins, a name I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Richard Dawkins, in his 1976 book, wrote The Selfish Gene, in which he coined the term meme. Now, at the time, meme wasn't really a term used to describe internet culture. Shocker for 1976. Meme was predominantly a genealogy term, referencing, and I definitely have this memorized. Look at Quinn while I do this. Explains how aspects of culture replicate, mutate, and evolve. So it was predominantly culture-based, but it had nothing to do with the internet just yet and didn't exist as we know it today.
In the 60s, before meme wasn't even a thing, there was a form of the internet. It wasn't really the internet, though. It was just a way for people to communicate with each other after wartime. It was technically online, but it was a different wave of everything. And then in 1991, the man Tim Berners-Lee made the World Wide Web, and that's when everything really started.
Which is wickedly exciting. The internet was just becoming the internet. Everyone was confused about what this big word meant. What is an internet? Should I be scared? Do I need to vaccinate my kids? No one knew what was going on except for a few people. But then the internet was born. And with the internet came posting, came sending, came receiving, came a lot of different ways to get information fast on what was called the information superhighway, another term for the internet, or the World Wide Web. This included email chains. Email was this brand new thing. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a little like AirDrop, but way more inconvenient and way smaller files. And an email was hit. It was a hit. It was the coolest thing in the world because you could send each other information. I don't think we need to explain to you what email was, but at the time it was huge because it was fast. And by fast, I mean way slower than it is now, but for the time, speedy. And this included information regarding work, school, anything you might need to tell someone as soon as possible. Email was the place to go, electronic mail, if you will. But with all these important pieces of information people were sending each other, there were also some less important, a little bit more amusing things, such as what became GIFs.
GIFs and memes, and that's when everything kind of started. Email was the first introduction to a meme or a trend in a way, online at least. Before emails, it was more like AOL messaging, the really loud startup sound, and you have to wait 30 minutes to send your friend, hey, hello, and that's really it. Email chains became a really, really big thing. It became a hit. People wanted to send your friend hamster dance, and then you send them hamster dance, and then all of that. And this also started a weird kind of subcategory of the internet where everything was kind of scary. There were scary email chains like, hi, my name is Carmen Winstead. And that's also where we saw the beginning and the evolution, the start of the evolution of creepypastas.
Yes, so if you got emailed something like, hey, I need you to come into work today. Things aren't looking good. It's like snowing. I'm going to need you to come in. Are you good for a 3 o'clock? There was just as many emails that you got where there is a girl in your closet with no eyes, and she will kill you tonight if you do not send this to 3 other people. And after you did send it to 3 other people, and they sent it to 3 other people, and thus, the chain and pyramid commenced, more people saw that than were getting regular emails. This was huge. This was everywhere. Internet chains were everywhere. It wasn't all girls with no eyes. Sometimes it was funny little pictures. If I remember correctly, the first picture ever sent through an email was a picture of someone's baby. That's from a Vsauce video. That's not even in the script. But it was someone's baby. Speaking of babies, we need to talk about the baby in the room. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the dancing baby.
Yes.
You may be familiar. Do you want to demonstrate?
Oh, he was just on screen.
Oh, is he not there anymore?
No, he'll come back.
Okay, ignore him. Those aren't the baby. The baby will be back. We promise. That's
Yeah.
a Cyber Tour promise. But with this ever-evolving email chain and email thing, these funny clips were evolving, and they were quite primitive at the time. You're thinking, what's the punchline to a dancing baby? It's a dancing baby. What's not to love? I swear. There he is.
Yeah,
dancing baby.
Ooh,
Oh,
there he
oh,
is.
oh.
I'm holding him. I'm holding the
so
baby.
this was huge. A dancing baby was incredible. And that's how things kind of got kickstarted. Now, it wasn't just email on the internet. Things started to pop up like other websites, like chat forums, and other places to discuss things really quickly in chat rooms and so many other ways. And this led to even more versions of discussion, which led to other new ways to trend and other new ways for people to recognize different trends, or as they were becoming to be called, memes. And I think that's a great transition into segment 2.
Exactly.
Transition. Okay, welcome back to segment 2. Did you want to kickstart, or do you want me to kickstart?
I can kickstart.
Please.
In I think 2002.
That sounds about right.
Something. Social media started to happen. Facebook was created not in 2002. I don't remember when it was really created.
2004.
2004. But social media started to become a thing. Instagram became a thing. Tumblr became a thing. Facebook became a thing. And that was a completely new way to share information. It wasn't, email chains anymore. I could text my friend and be like, hey, there's a girl in your closet, by the way. And yeah.
It was public, especially.
Exactly.
While email was direct messaging, while you and this other guy you were sending your emails to could only see it. Now, I don't want just one person to see my dancing baby. I want everyone to see my dancing baby. And not only do I want everyone to see my dancing baby, I'm doing a dancing baby page. And I want people to comment about their dancing baby too. It was more than dancing babies, or at least it's been explained to me. I thought that was it for a while, but then I did research. But with the ever-evolving, growing social media that was so primitive at the time, people were now sending each other things more than ever. And so trends were quickly starting and quickly ending. Have you seen the dancing baby, Quinn?
I have, actually. He's here with us. So
that's so beautiful. I really do believe it every day. God bless him. But one of these important websites that did kickstart this trend of viral images and GIFs was 4chan. We're not going to go too crazy deep into 4chan, but odds are if you know a meme from the last 20 years, it probably started in 4chan in some sort of primitive way. 4chan, for those who don't know, was an anonymous messaging board where anyone could write about anything at any time in any way, including any language. You can kind of see where this is going. Some of them weren't so great, but a lot of them kickstarted a lot of memes you probably recognize, including lolcats. Are you familiar with lolcats?
I am kind of familiar with lolcats. Can you teach me?
I sure can, Quinn. Lolcats. This is how we talk all the time. Lolcats. We never switch off. Lolcats are these images, these image macros, if I may, of a cat, say, hanging from a tree, and someone's placed text over it that says, "Hang in there." How delightful, how wonderful, right?
Yeah.
Or a cat with a cheeseburger with the caption, "I can has cheeseburgers." Yes, you can. You can has cheeseburgers. And although primitive and kind of strange and sad looking, kind of unfunny at all now, these were the talk of the town. Everyone was sending these cats to each other. It was crazy. It was fun. It was funny. Do you have a favorite lolcat to put you on the spot?
No, not really. I'm not that old. So
that's true. I'm ancient.
Sorry.
But lolcats originated from 4chan, and with 4chan and with lolcats came another step in the evolution: rage comics. Do you care to rage comic?
I can rage comic a little bit. Rage comics are obviously comics, but they were drawn in a way where, something happens, and then it's a funny drawing of the guy going, "Oh no!" But those became the next big thing. Your mom, if you ask your mom, do you know rage comics? She probably does. But they became such a large thing. And I think rage comics as a whole, and also 4chan as a whole, started separate websites where it was just for memes, specific kinds of memes too. Trollface, Magusta, Forever Alone.
Yes. So a lot of these rage comics, although crudely drawn almost like stick figures, a lot of the faces were familiar because people would reiterate the same punchline. A great example, one of my all-time favorites, probably the Citizen Kane of the internet, is one where a guy comes into his house from work. He goes, "Honey, I'm home." And in the next panel, he grabs a jar of honey and he opens it, and it cuts to him in the close-up with the image of the famous Forever Alone face with the caption, you guessed it, "Forever Alone." See, the joke is he thought you get it. But this kind of, again, I'm saying this word a lot, primitive way of humor at the time was a hit. It was awesome. This punchline, this comic panel thing, all these iconic faces, like you said, Forever Alone, Me Gusta, and especially the troll face. The troll face.
Trollolololol.
Exactly.
Exactly.
The troll face was a huge thing as well. The troll face, if you're not familiar, was a face, a drawing, a poorly done, probably MS Paint drawing
Exactly.
of a guy. Do you want to show?
I'm not going to do
You're
it.
not going to do it? That's
No.
fine. Me gusta. The troll face like that was a perfect rendition, was used to troll people. And to troll was this also big new idea of baiting someone into thinking you're sending them something when really it's something else, which would end up becoming a huge pillar in memes, was to bait people that way, to troll people as a troll, like a troll under a bridge who was kind of weird and kind of ugly. That was the whole shtick, is to trick you. And that was a big part of the internet, was pranks and stuff. That was huge back then.
And the second troll face got popular. The idea of trolling and also these, once again, primitive jokes where it's just the joke and then a punchline also became a really big thing. And that started up impact font memes. Bad Luck Brian, Sad Keanu, One Does Not Simply. It started a whole new trend.
You take an image from a movie or a TV series or anything, just a picture of famous actor Keanu Reeves sitting on a bench looking solemn. Why Keanu so sad? Me wonder. Can I have cheeseburgers? Can Keanu have cheeseburgers? People were asking the important questions. Why was he sad? And it was up to the internet to decide. So people took specifically the impact font, made it large, put it on top and put it on the bottom, and would take this picture of, say, Keanu Reeves or a guy with awful braces and awful acne, and caption it with funny, relevant captions, such as, for that last example, people deemed this guy who had a yearbook photo Bad Luck Brian, and it would be like, show up to, I don't have one off the top of my head.
I don't either.
Show up to Alcoholics Anonymous, everyone gone drinking. Or, I don't know, it's just like silly little stuff like that, like, oh, rats. Again, and there was all these different templates. And again, while simple, this was new. And for a lot of people, the internet wasn't what it is today. Everyone's on the internet every day, using everything every day, all of the time. Back then, it felt a little nicher, it was a little more exclusive. We knew Bad Luck Brian, but our teachers didn't, but our parents didn't. We're on the computer in the computer room looking at ragestash.com. I had a computer room. Did you have a computer room?
I did.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm not that old.
Yeah.
And we go on ragestash.com and all these different places to view memes. But there wasn't really that much of a platform for videos. That was until 2005, a platform came around that I think we can talk about after the next segment. I think that's a good segment.
Yeah, that's a good segment.
Yeah, all right. That concludes segment 2.
Oh, YouTube. YouTube's a thing now, and you can share videos on YouTube no matter who you are, no matter what you do, no matter what language you speak. You can share something. The first ever YouTube was a guy just at the zoo.
That's true. One of the founders of YouTube did a video called Me at the Zoo with a bunch of other people at the zoo. Now, the premise of YouTube, the pitch of the project was a place just to host videos. YouTube originally as a video hosting platform, which it still is today, you probably recognize that visual. But the reason YouTube came to be was because of Janet Jackson's incident at the Super Bowl. That actually inspired the creators to make YouTube. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
There you go. You got to watch the Radar Super Bowl episode. But that inspired YouTube. Shameless plug. But that inspired YouTube to be made. And suddenly it was very easy to view videos on the internet without having to send you a link and a download that would take 90 years to load from top to bottom slowly while listening to crunchy noise. There was somewhere to view it easily, and it was accessible. Even your grandmother could do it. Just type in youtube.com. And it was even founded by guys who used to own PayPal. Another fact, in case you didn't know.
I didn't know that.
You did? Throwing these in like crazy. Made you learn.
And with YouTube became a new era of video memes. Charlie Bit My Finger, Double Rainbow. Do you guys know that?
Good pull.
Exactly.
We don't even have that written down,
Thank
do we?
you. No, we don't.
Great job.
No, but with this became a completely new evolution of memes itself and a different way to communicate with people. You could comment on other people's videos. You could say, hey, this sucked. You should do something about that. But yeah, this was a gigantic platform. It still is, but it started to become, there used to be channels and that, and little communities started to form within YouTube.
You could post anything, really. Oh, most of anything. Obviously, you can't post that, you freak, but you can post most of anything. So things that were trending weren't just funny things, sad things, cute things, anything. This is real. I don't know if I've ever told you this. There was a YouTube channel me and my friends used to watch called Cute Things Exploding, in which it would be a video of a cute bunny hopping along a trail and then a really bad clip of an explosion, and you were supposed to infer that it had exploded, and this was funny to 10-year-old me. That's an example of something that would be trending on the internet. Evolution of dance, just a guy on stage doing an evolution of dance in sweet 240p. It was glorious, it was beautiful, and it was the internet. And the internet didn't belong to everyone yet, so still, if you were in the know, you knew. Videos weren't hitting millions of views every day. Only the cream of the crop were. YouTube channels like Smosh uploaded a YouTube video of Ian Hecox and Anthony Padilla, these two teenage boys lip syncing to the Pokemon theme. While kind of stupid and random now, this was huge because it just seems so normal. It was so fun. We all love Pokemon. Anyone here love Pokemon? I knew it. We have Pokemon fans here in the live studio audience. There's hundreds of them. But yeah, a lot of Pokemon fans. And this was huge. And that was the first YouTube video to hit 1 million views. And then it was deleted for copyright infringement. But it wasn't just fun stuff on the internet. There were some spooky stuff. Some spooky stuff that still remains today. Quinn, could you tell us, perchance, about creepypasta?
Yes, I can. Remember what I just mentioned like 10 minutes ago? Creepypastas, creepy email chains have now evolved, even on the platforms where you could, it's like video-based. No.
It can be.
Yeah, video-based. Anyways, creepypasta started to become a really, really big thing. People started to create these urban legends about Jeff the Killer and Slender Man. Slender Man being one of the most popular, which is about this guy with no face and he's wearing a suit and he's really tall. He's got a lot of tentacles, and if you don't find his 8 pages in the forest, he's going to do something pretty bad. But all of these weren't true. But that also came with photo bashing. Photo bashing started to become a thing. People started to use Photoshop to create images of these urban legends, and that kind of started the actual dark side of the internet because people started to get really into it and it kind of got scary.
I do want to mention the creepypasta-shaped hole in the room, or elephant in the room, which is, why is it called creepypasta? Do you know?
No.
I do. On 4chan, the aforementioned 4chan, there was this often trend, like I said, to trick people into reading these large pieces of text. People would copy and paste these gigantic walls of text into comment sections, and that was called copypasta.
That makes sense.
Oh, copy paste. Sorry, I was like, where's the pasta coming in? Copy pasta, copy paste, copy pasta turns into creepy pasta, because then you're throwing in these scary images and these scary copy pastas, creepy pasta. And so, like Quinn said, Jeff the Killer, Tiki Toby, Smiling Jack,
Ben Drowned.
So then you brought in internet culture. There was so many people who were pretty much nerds at the time. Nerds had their own page here. Nerds and people who were way too young to use the internet at the time were viewing this wild west of the internet. There was really no blocking what you could see. You were seeing everything all of the time, for better or worse. So that includes rage comics, that includes impact font memes, that includes turning away from the mic because I had to breathe in chocolate rain. And of course, where would we be without Dancing Baby?
Exactly. Now, it's also worth mentioning that creepypasta as a whole kind of started the whole trolling thing, not just troll face. And you want to know what got really big when videos started to come around? Rick rolling. Yeah, if I could, I wish we would have been able to throw up. Actually, he's going to be here.
What's a Rick roll, Quinn?
This song with this man, right? Pretty good. Rick Astley was a kind of famous musician.
He was kind of niche.
He was kind of a niche, but he had this song called Never Gonna Give You Up, and people loved that. And they used to put that everywhere, and they used to send it to you, and they used to be like, hey, grandma just died, here's her obituary. And then you click it, and it would be a Rick roll. And that was the whole thing. It was just trolling people. It wasn't troll face anymore. It was now Rick.
You've been got. So that became a huge trend to send someone a link, and it was actually never going to give you up. This act of expectation subversion was what a lot of memes were, especially in the most primitive form back then. I think pretty much that concludes most of it. It is worth mentioning that some trending YouTube videos did have real life impact. For example, the American indie rock group OK Go had a music video for their song Here It Goes Again, where they had a bunch of treadmills and they walked and they danced on these treadmills, and this caused people to want to do the same thing. And this kind of started a trend in of itself, people recreating what they saw on the internet. Surely that won't go anywhere. Foreshadowing. And obviously YouTube, we also briefly mentioned social media, but I do think we should get into that next time. I think that's a good place to end it there. Thank you so much for watching our cyber tour. Quinn, do you have anything you want to say?
No, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Me, Alex, and Dancing Baby say thank you.
Thank you.
We want you here next time.